there. It's Monday, the day after Mother's Day, and I'm guessing that grandmother is back. I don't see Dad anywhere. Mom's in the house, but I suspect Dad's up there with Nan for now. I thought I would take this opportunity to show you the garage a little bit. Dad's only now getting around to painting the floor again, so I thought this would be the ideal opportunity. So, since I can't actually get too close, I'll abuse the zoom lens. So, this is the whole inside of the main section. We use recycled pallet boards for the walls. And of course, there's the RV in there. I'll get that later. That's kind of a mess because we have the floor cleaned out here. And of course, this is the outside with the RV section over there. So, for the quick tour, we have hula hoops from the children, some hockey sticks. But what's really interesting is an old crib board. It's an old card game. We have a spigot from a barrel and a key, a relatively new plane, and an old level that was handmade. From what I've heard, from a person the age of my father's grandfather. That level belonged to Isaac McCachran's grandfather. Isaac McCachran's grandfather. A plane there, and a number of other planes, all of which were made by hand out of wood. Dartboard that Father and I used to play. Some old scythe blades. A wooden shovel that Dad found back behind the house, and a handmade broom. An old sleigh behind those two bicycles. Wooden sleigh. That is the end cap corner. So over here we have an old bow saw that actually uses a tensioner made out of string or line and a piece of wood that's pressed against that supporting member. A relatively new crowbar, a newer metal bow saw, and some sheep shears, and two carpenter's braces. We also have an old oil pump, I guess, and this is my contribution. A turn-of-the-century post holer. They use those to make holes for fence posts. Some snowshoes. Don't know where my mind went that time. Another auger. This was a hand auger, wrought iron, and a sickle, as you can see, that I bought at a flea market for $10 a piece. The post holer I bought for $20. There's another auger, a third and a fourth, and two more pairs of snowshoes, one of which is complete. But my grandfather ran a farm, and this was one of his documents. It was a potato sack, a 75-pound bag of potatoes. This is a hay rake entirely made of wood, some rope and some metal and some wooden pegs for teeth. I apologize if this is shaky at all. As I said, I'll try to get a better position here. As I said, I'm on the zoom lens. So, we've got a old Newfoundland picture that I'm pretty sure my aunt drew. I can't guarantee that from this distance. It's a picture of my grandfather. And I'm pretty sure that Aunt Trudy made that as well. we've got 2 spoke shaves, or draw knives. They were used to round off the edges for wagon wheels. My grandfather's fedora. And we also have, where are we? This is an implement used for cobbling shoes. You put the shoe on that as though this were the sole, and you could fix the shoe accordingly. Horseshoe there is pretty inconsequential. Dad is particularly proud of this calendar from 1961. Some pictures of my extended family, my great-grandparents, and so on. The barbecue is new. Ignore that. Pair of glasses. Old glasses cases. See, that's a Newfoundland dog, in case you don't know. That molding came out of the church up on the hill. I'm pretty sure that one was an original molding that was part of the church that blew off the bank back 50, 60, 70 years ago, whenever it was. The church was rebuilt on the hill, for argument's sake, that church was actually built after the one that was put there first burned down. And that's okay. The church was rebuilt, that one burned down, and they built the one that you see up there. I forgot this. This is also a pitchfork above the hay rake. Okay, moving on. As I said, grandfather owned a little farm, and that's the weigh scale he had, measured off in pounds. A fire extinguisher, cheese grater, farmer's scythe. And Dad has always been interested in politics, so he also has some political signs. I should have one of my election put up there from 2011 for the Green Party. I might actually do that this year. Surprise him with it, who knows. He doesn't watch these videos, so you'll never know. Be our secret. So we have these are barber shears. That is a vice of some nature. My grandfather used to work on the railway, and this is an old lamp from a turn of the century, maybe as late as the 50s, railway lantern. An old whiskey jug. Bicycle pump, that isn't very old. This is a tool used to make barrels. It's incomplete, of course, and I don't have any other tools made used by those types of trades, which is a shame. We've got a block and tackle. A novelty tomahawk. My family is gaining Indian status. This is a soda bottle that was produced in Stephenville during the war. Another horseshoe. And I'm not sure who made that. Not even quite sure what it is. But that's something else added to our ranks. And this is a picture of what St. David's used to be. That is a church, and this is our neck of the woods. Used to be 200 or 300 people living down here, maybe more. And now they're all gone, and it's just the Gosses living here permanently. And this is Dad's pride and joy. A Kawasaki 440 Twin 1980 custom classic motorcycle. He's been rebuilding it, and with beyond a small problem with the electrical that we can't quite figure out, it's otherwise in working order with all original or restored parts. He's very proud of it. We also have a typewriter, Underwood noiseless, and an old kerosene lamp. I think that one came from the church. And that little black thing behind it was an African doll Dad had during a missionary work that he went to Africa. Another lamp. An old fishing rod. Very long fishing rod. And there's a bunch more fishing rod type tools in the other portion of the shed in storage. That is the back wall. This wall, as you can see, is considerably lighter. Some lawn chairs. We have another one of those African dolls, a figurine. We have a horn that was used with gunpowder, I think, and one of Dad's early levels. We have old license plates. When was this one from? 1978, Nova Scotia. 76. Dad's planer, leveling planer. He attached that to some lawnmower wheels and its own little stand. A new table saw. That's the newest one over here, actually, with the original stand. But this is one of the new older ones, also on wheels, and his chop saw. This is an old Newfoundland fishing net. That's not a real lobster. With many tools used of the time, all kinds of weights and. This is an actual stone that was whittled out in the middle and used as a weight for the fishing nets. This is a darning needle, those three are, used to make the nets, tie the knots. More weights and levels. This, I believe, is part of Bay de Verde. It is. Where my mother grew up. See if I can get that at the proper angle. There we go. So, an old fishing net. These are some small fishing nets you just drop over this wharf or what have you. And one of my mother's old ironing boards, not to be misogynistic, but I doubt Dad would ever use it. And a wash board, scrub board. A number of old hats and that sort of stuff. There's also an old flat iron that used to be used by my family. Okay, you can probably hear that. I'm taking the enamel off the floor. I thought that was dry. That's okay. And there's also an old vise here. We all need vices in life. So, this is a quick tour of my father's... Oh, there it is. My kayak, one that I bought last year. Quick tour, I guess, of my father's museum, that we call it affectionately. I didn't mention this either. This is a carving from one piece of wood that I'm pretty sure my mother's father had made. Whittled away, one piece of wood, no glue, no fastenings. Let's see. This was my first motorcycle. A Kawasaki 2-stroke 75. You see the gas tank over here. That little guy has a few kilometers on it after all of my booting around. The seat is in that sandbox. So, needless to say, that's my first motorcycle. I destroyed my second one, then sold it, and that's the third that my family has purchased. My minivan, Dad's truck, the one that he repaired recently. So, it is a magnificent day, and I'm, of course, still laid up because of my hand. I'll never live it down if I hurt myself again. So I'm going to wait for that to heal. In brief, because of course, where all this area has to be cleaned off, all of Dad's things that he had stored and organized cleanly in there has been brought out here. But we've got my parents' RV, 19.5-foot Islander, the ride-on lawnmower, lawn tractor. Some more traffic going into the beach for whatever reason. I don't know what there is to see down there. So, there's not really a whole lot much else to see. Other than the beautiful day, it's about 20 degrees, May 12th, 11 o'clock or so. I have been thinking, however, of the property up there. I'm not terribly fond of the idea of going with a lot of concrete, but since my presence will not be consistent, I may be willing to go with something that I know won't break. So I'm thinking of building a concrete bunker of sorts, as far back in that hill as I can. Get some heavy equipment this summer to move it, because I don't have the time myself from going away in a few weeks with the military. But approximately this here, so we have these 3 blocks, another 3 or 4 that way, right back to those trees, level out, and make a little concrete house, 20 by 40 roughly, maybe enough space for 2 bedrooms, and I would still be able to keep this view, which I kind of like. I think I would need to have a road made behind this tree line. If I wanted to go with heavy concrete, I would need to have a road here to allow access to the house for the heavy equipment. Probably get rid of that gnarly old tree down there. Get rid of that one, I mean. And see how that goes. Have the road come straight up this way and then into the front of the building. I don't want heavy equipment, but I can't avoid it. I don't want concrete, but it's the best option. So right now I'd prefer to have something that's cleaner, that I can have solar only and water recycling as a stepping stone, and that it's reliable and it's consistent and it will pass building codes faster. Who knows? But I will want to seed this entire hillside with more trees, preferably buy some mature ones and plant them. And that should create a nice wind break. Even though I'm underground, I won't hear it, but who knows. So, that's it now. I'm already running pretty long. Thank you so much for joining me on this tour of my father's history, my family's history. Oh, and, sorry, forgot. There's the quad as well, the ATV, and the trailer behind it. So, that's it for me. I heard Ivan's rhino go up behind the house, so I guess he and father have returned from Nan's visit. I'll see you later on today. So, cheerio, and I'll see you all later.